So, hey guys, welcome to the Football Overseas YouTube channel, and welcome to Man United versus Ipswich Town. It is a must-win game, and it is a no draws and no excuse game. And we have an Ipswich Town fan. Last time we played each other was in 2025, and yeah, pick up Joe. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Back, good to be back again.
Yeah, it's good to be back, and yeah, it's more often that we play each other. I think this is a fixture where we have a lot of encounters that we have featured against each other. Is it like 46 or something like that? Meetings.
Yeah, it's quite long. Obviously, one of the famous ones when you guys won 1-9-0 as well
Yeah, I
against
remember.
us. Yeah,
Yeah,
so trying to recreate that memories again.
yeah, I remember we kept on meeting often. It, we met in 2025, then 2024, then we had
Yeah.
a long break, and then we started that when we had a long break from 202, remember 202, and until 2024.
Absolutely. Didn't think it would
But,
come around again, to be honest with
but
you, but obviously here we are.
yeah, here we are again, and it is incredible how you guys have bounced back, back to back, because most people will have expected you to stay in the championship, or maybe to go down, like just a city went down, but it's incredible for the Tractor
Mm.
Boys. But I'll let you speak on how your boys have performed in the last game against Sunderland. What
Yeah,
impressed you? Yeah,
yeah, like
and
you
what went
say,
wrong?
the game against Sunderland, we got that win 2-1. Obviously, we've also got a new manager with Gary O'Neill replacing Kieran McKenna. As most of us Ipswich fans and all that, obviously, we were sad that Kieran went after he gave us 5 magical years, 3 promotions, and things like that into his net CV. We'll always be grateful for him and also the players that were part of the journey. But like you say, we've got Gary O'Neill now managing, got a win against Sunderland. It took us since November time when we last got a first win in the Premier League 2 years ago. So to get that first game does seem and fill me a bit more confident with Gary O'Neill. He's not to like when you look at him, you think, ooh, like he's not the one that you get the eye for. But with Gary O'Neill, he's sort of a good manager because he can change like formations and things like that in certain games. So obviously in our game we went into a 4-2-3-1. I wouldn't be surprised if we go in a back five against United, or we actually are going to go for it because how United lost to Hull, and it's sort of like it's their sort of game to play United, but it's also United's first game at Old Trafford, back at theirs, so they've got the pressure on them. Regarding the Ipswich Sunderland game, it was good. I thought Lukic on his debut, we got him from Fulham. He did really well. He was like the disposal of the person, like every pass he would intercept it, thread the ball to Clark. That was really good, well taken goal. Emerson, our Brazilian striker, he's obviously quite young. He's still adapting to the league, and also signing someone like Enciso, obviously used to play with Brian, has that Prem experience, and also used to be around with us as well when we got him on loan in January 2 years ago. So there's a lot of positivity going on with Ipswich, and even more so, we're going to sign Palacios from by Leverkusen and Tammy Abraham on loan with no option to buy, which is quite a great deal for Ipswich's account.
Yeah, obviously, someone like Clark is obviously someone to watch out for. You signed him from Sunderland. It is quite weird that he performed quite well against his former club. You'll have
Mm.
expected him to be nervous facing against his former club, but he performed quite well against them. He came off the bench in the 70th minute, if I'm not wrong, and then he scored the winning goal for you guys to get to grab those 3 points. Even though
Mm.
we both me and you knew before that game that you guys had a stronger precision that Sutherland had. So you guys were more likely to win that game than Sunderland was.
Mm.
And yeah, and did you think that the preseason helped you guys prepare better for this season?
I believe so
Oh,
because you look at 2 years ago, we did a back-to-back promotion from League One to the Prem. We weren't ready for it, but what we did signing wise, we signed players that were good for the Championship, but then weren't really kind of for the Prem, and we knew we were going to go down. It was always going to be a hard task, and then we've got down. We've the players fought really hard for it, and then we've got back up, and we're actually making signings that are normal. Like, think of like Sunderland. When they got up, they signed Granit Xhaka. Like, no one would have expected that to happen. So there is some intent there from the club. There is a structure. There was a plan all along. Do I think if McKenna would have signed these players? I'm not really sure. I think it's with Gary O'Neill. He's got so many connections. Like with Strasbourg, he used to manage, and that's how we got that Otara, and we got in Cisco and things like that. And I think it's sort of a good pull that we've got someone like Gary O'Neill with the players that he's got.
yeah, and I know Gary O'Neill used to be a manager of Bournemouth, and
Mm.
I wonder what mistakes. Are you not worried that Gary O'Neill will make some mistakes that he did at Bournemouth when
Yeah,
he's manager of Ipswich?
I, I mean, all managers make mistakes, like with Bournemouth and Wolves and things like that. And, with McKenna, he don't get me wrong, I love him to bits. He always did the 5 years or so. But with McKenna, sometimes he'd always stick to the 4-2-3-1. Yeah, sometimes he would go into a back five or a back three and whatnot. He would do that, but he very rarely changed what his system was, and he would always do a 4-2-3-1. With O'Neill, it's hard with him because it's like he does a sort of he doesn't have a set formation as such, and he can improvise during the game and do change in formation and things like that. So I'm looking forward in that aspect. And obviously, I know people say, "Oh yeah, but you used to play for Norwich and all that." We've had people managing us before that used to be Norwich, like the Paul Lamberts. So it's not like it comes out of shock that we've got another Norwich sort of person that comes to Ipswich. Um, but like I say, everyone makes a manager like make mistakes, but and he will know that himself that he will get criticised and people like that, and you just got to support and rally Mr. Gary O'Neill.
Yeah, that's true as well. And ahead of this game of face against United, what are key weaknesses that you think that you obviously watch the game against that United had against Hull City? What
Mm.
positives that you had of that game that made you more less afraid of facing United?
I think with United, obviously, like you had some players from the World Cup and things like that, um, but then some of them from the World Cup still you can still sort of see how they're still getting sort of like the match fitness and things like that. So like people like the Brunos wasn't that quite sharp on it. He might be this time, and also the worrying thing with that was with United, you've had this like back four for ages, and it's just you need to like obviously upgrade. I know you started Aiden Heaven, but it's just like in a whole game when you've got someone like McBurney there, like it just screams like McBurney will just absolutely terrorise United with the set pieces, and that's what I think Ipswich should do to exploit it. I think that's how you try and do it, or capitalise on their mistakes. Obviously, with that 3-2 game there was many times that United would have the ball, lose it. Ipswich would go on to score back thanks to Philogene, who got twice in that game, and just punish United's mistakes. And obviously, you got sent off with Dorgu, obviously being the left back at the time. I don't think Dorgu will start. I think you will probably go full strength, but then I think having Ahmad been injured, but I don't know if he's going to be fit for the game. I think having Mbuemo on the right, I think makes it a little bit interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I think you are talking about injuries, and United's injury record has been quite a worry for the medical team,
Mm.
especially since it's something that I don't understand about about our recruitment team. We have signed a new midfielder, Beleba, but he's injured and he's coming back in October. So basically, it doesn't make sense to sign him now, rather than you should have signed him for the January window or
Mm.
pre-agreed a deal for the winter window. So
Good.
yeah, in that sense, you have it's 70 million that's waiting in the medical department. Yeah, so and then other things like we have the leads injured. We have the Sandro Martinez who has just come back from injury. He's meant to be fully fit by September. After the September international break, he's meant to be fully fit by then. And then we have people like Tom Heaton who's injured, Mount who's injured. We have Kobe. and Kobe is not much fit yet. He's not fully much fit. He has
Mm.
only played one game. That was the AC Milan game before the whole City game where he came off the
Mhm.
bench as well. So in terms of match fitness, there's rarely much fitness. Ahmad is injured. Sesko is injured. He's injured. Is meant to come. He's meant to be fully match fit for the Manchester derby as well. So
Yeah, and also another one you're signing Tielemans. I didn't think he looked match sharp as well. Like obviously he got injured in that Belgium game in the warm up against Spain, so I think he's
yeah,
still a bit like sort of rusty and things like that.
yeah, he's still a bit rusty. So that's the thing. Is I don't know what's the issue, whether and how United how we look for players because heading to this window we are linked to good players. We're linked to players like Tunali. We're linked to players like Metas Fernandez. We're linked to players who are not injury prone. And when you don't act the window, or you act too late, you tend to panic and you tend to buy poorly. Whereas clubs
Mm.
like Ipswich Town, you guys actually had a better window than United had in terms of planning everything. He bought the correct players that you needed, and maybe some of them could be injury prone, but really most will be. Yeah. So in terms of that, I think the thing that will hurt United this season is mostly the manager, but also the decisions we have made in this transfer window as well. But
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I just think with United, I think obviously with if you sort of done it with Palacios, which I'm very surprised that no one actually went for him. But like you say, with the injuries and things like that, I think that might be taken into account. But with United, I think it's just more you try to do negotiations and it's taken long, and then another club comes in like slap bang and be like, right, we're doing this offer. Like you say with Tonali or Bates Fernandez, like you were like, oh, we'll do like say 40, we start off, and then Spurs come in and be like, right, 80, and you're like, right, we're not going to do that, and then he's gone to Spurs. So there is sort of that aspect, and I think in a way. But no, I think like you say, signing someone like Baleba, who's obviously out injured and things like that. When you want someone to buy for 70 mil, you want them like ASAP. You want them to play, but then it's always tough, isn't it? So
yeah. And also like the Beleba deal, I know most fans in my fan base are celebrating it, but United took 2 summers to negotiate 30 million of that deal.
mm,
Initially, remember Brighton last summer wanted what 100 million for Beleba, and now we signed
hmm
him for 70 million. So it took 2 summers to negotiate a 30 million of
yeah,
that deal.
exactly.
So that's a thing that I don't like is the negotiation team, how long they take, and this negotiation team is a negotiation team of a relegated club in the Premier League.
Mm.
It's not
And I think
of a club that wants to win Champions League football.
yeah, exactly. And I think if you did sign Baleba last year, he would have had such a good mentor in Casemiro and actually like develop and how he plays and be like he could maybe adapt to how Casemiro did play. I just think when I look at the United team, I mean, don't get me wrong, Baleba can sort of do that sort of thing, but like I don't think he can do that sort of dark arts what Casemiro can do. Like he's not the tallest, but he's quite nippy. Like he can like intercept and start the ball and things like that.
Yeah, and there's a United fan that believes that we're winning this game. Yeah, I remember also the game
Yeah,
against
probably.
Hull City. Yeah, I remember also the game against Hull City. There was a fan as well who said we were going to smash Hull City, and I mentioned that Hull City. I felt it in my heart it was going to be a draw,
Mm,
but I also felt it could be actually ahead of the game against Hull City. I felt it could be a tight win or a draw.
mm,
I knew United doesn't play well against teams like Ipswich, Hull City because we come into the game, you guys put a low block. Like against Hull City, you can see they put like 9 men behind in their own half.
yep.
So United struggles breaking down 9 men in their own half because we
Yeah,
don't know what to
exactly.
do with possession. We are used to not having the ball a lot. So when we have the ball a lot, we don't know what to do with it. So we tend to close around, but not tend to close have runners inside that box. Or
Mm,
even our wingers, we don't have wingers who stretch out the fullbacks or pull out the fullbacks as well. Abomo, Abomo, if you're putting a physical fullback against Abomo, you'll tend to win that battle against Bomo.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, if he's on the right, it'll be Leaf Davis. But then I think if we go in the back three, we might get like Jacob Greaves sort of like helping Leaf Davis out. Um, I think we'll probably. I reckon in the game, I reckon we'll probably do sort of similar like Hull in terms of going in a back five. I think it'll be like a maybe a 5-3-2. I think maybe I don't know. Maybe Enciso and Emerson up front, and then you've got the free midfield. You've got Florentino. We've got from Burnley, Lukic from Fulham, and then maybe Nunes, who is one of those players like you give him the ball, he can thread it through to Enciso or Emerson, and hopefully we get them on the break. But who knows? It could be Fatu with Maeda. It could be 3-4-2-1 with maybe Maeda and Fatu behind Emerson, or and obviously you got Enciso still there as well. So we don't know what's going to happen. So I think it'll be very interesting.
yeah. If I was going to give my Scotland thoughts on this, I think in my heart I know, and I don't know why I'm scared about this game. I
Mm,
know in my heart I want a win, but my
yep.
mind is telling me it could be a draw. It's speaking of a draw, which I don't want a draw to
Yeah.
happen. I want a bounce back win. And against Ipswich Town, no disrespect to you guys, we should be smashing these clubs as well.
Oh, agreed.
And that's what the previous United squads used to be. The squads that of Sir Alex Ferguson, squads of Eric Cantona guys, squads of Matt Babsey as well. Those guys used to be smashing Ipswich Town, Hull City, Brentford, and guys used to be coming to Old Trafford and be scared of playing United at Old Trafford. Guys used to be hosting United and be scared of playing United at their stadiums. So right now,
Absolutely.
the standards as a United fan has really dropped so down, and we have let the Glazers and Ineos drop it so low that
It just doesn't. When you go to Old Trafford years ago, it used to be so daunting, so intimidating. But 9 times out of 10, people can just go there and be like, we can actually get something at United. And that's for me in my lifetime. I never thought that would be the day that everyone think, oh, United, you can get something. Normally, you'd be like, well, look, we tick United off. We haven't got the result, but we've done it. And then it's done. And for me, I would be like, oh, yeah, second game, we got United. Get it done. We've done it. But now it's just like, oh, United lost to Hull. And obviously, yes, it's your first game at Old Trafford, and you've got that expectation, you've got that pressure on you. Can you deliver? Will the players be fit enough? Who knows? Like, I think that's just the one thing to take.
yeah, and and it's a drop of those things as well. And it what frightens me about this club is that when we have legends who criticize the leadership, who criticize the board as well, they tend to receive backlash from fans saying, "Oh, you should not be doing that, you should not be doing this." But somebody needs to be out there speaking the truth. If Cristiano did not do that interview with Morgan, I don't think Ineos or I don't think the Glazers will have put up the club for sale or done some renovations on those training pitch. Somebody has to be the villain in United storyline to save
Mm,
United from its issues.
agreed.
Like when we are having the Glazers put up the club for sale, we should have continued protesting, and we should continue emptying these stadiums. Yes, I know it will. Yes, I know that a lot of us claim to watch a match in Old Trafford. I don't blame you guys for that, im- but it will speak a greater sense where to the Glazers when they see an empty stadium or when they are attending a match and they see United section is empty. It will
Hmm.
frighten them more.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and I couldn't agree more with that. Like you say, I think that is the right thing to do.
Yeah, instead of just protesting outside or walking to the stadium, there's nothing that you do, even if you're, you're gathering outside and protesting outside, as long as you have just bought a ticket, you have made them happy and they'll continue staying.
Mm,
Yeah. It's like bringing a knife fight. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight.
literally, exactly. That's a great example too. That's a
Yeah,
great
but
example.
but anyway, so what lineup do you think you guys will go with for your game?
I think we'll go a back five. I think it'll be like I say, it'll be a 5-3-2. I'm going to go for. I'm going to go Sherpen in goal. He's a really tall Dutch goalkeeper. He used to play for Brighton. I think he had like one game, I think. But he will be in net. I think if we go in a back five, I think I've drawn the three centre backs to be Greaves, Diop, and O'Shea. I like O'Shea, and when we played him at right back, it sure did make sense. But when you against United at Old Trafford, you need to have your better players in the better positions. So for me, I want him in centre back. The two wing backs, I'm going to go Leif Davis and Atara. Atara is obviously from Strasbourg. Gary O'Neill knows him well. And Leif Davis, he's one of those, he can be like the outlet sort of winger slash player that can bomb forwards and things like that. And Greaves could sit there and cover Leif Davis's spot whilst it's being occupied. In free midfield, I would go in Florentino, new obviously played make his debut, starting from Burnley. Lukic again already played against Sunderland last week. He did really well. And then I would also go with Nunes, like I say, just thread the ball for the two strikers that I think will be Nzisco and Emerson. And then I would put like Fatawu, Jack Clark, Maeda on the bench and things like that. And it's depending on the game and things like that.
Yeah. Where to Fertino Luis? What
Yes,
you signed him for Burnley, right?
that is correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember he was linked to United at one point. He's a good CDM. It's
Mm.
sad how his career has really gone down.
Literally,
He
and like you
was,
say, like
yeah,
I remember for Benfica, he was like touted to be the next big thing, and then yeah,
yeah, yeah. I actually expected him to be grabbed by Chelsea when Chelsea was picking out those youngsters from Portugal. I thought
mm,
he'd be grabbed by Chelsea, but when he moved to Burnley and then he's moving to Ipswich, I'm like, this guy, his career is going to keep going down, down.
mm,
Yeah, so I was actually surprised. But he's a good stadium though.
exactly, yeah.
And each deadly players are you thinking will perform well against United for your team?
I'm gonna go in Cisco. I think
For
having that experience, obviously for Brian, like he knows what it's like to play at Old Trafford, and I mean, there's many of them you can say who had experience like Diop, Lukic, Davis, O'Shea, but I think with Cisco, he's sort of that playmaker role and has that free roam and things like that, I think he could challenge United and maybe hopefully cause them threats.
Okay. In terms of your players, who I think will be trying to cause a bit of troubles for United, I think your wingers will could do quite well.
Yeah,
The former Aston Villa academy winger is what is his name, Philogeny,
yeah, Philogene, yeah.
Philogeny, yeah, Philogeny, and also I think Isco as well could do also quite well.
Mm.
Emerson, the young striker, could do
Mm-hmm.
quite well. And then there's another striker that you have that is signed from Ajax. Sit
Oh,
at
Chuba.
Yeah, that will do well. And then Dari O'Shea, right?
Yeah, yeah, Dara O'Shea, yeah.
Yeah, Dari O'Shea. Yeah. Then Clark as well. So I think those six players could do quite well.
Mm. Even
Now,
like Fatawu from Leicester. I
yeah,
think he's one of the players like he could literally cause fullbacks nightmares by how one-on-one duels he does and how much he wins. Sorry, that's my
yeah.
dog in the background.
And also I think it's okay. It happens. Yeah, so I
Mm.
think also knowing United, our issues is that we are too strong. Like this summer we have become strong in the center of the park. We're not beaten in the center of the park, but in terms of the channels, we struggle in counterattacks there. So that's why I mostly put your wingers as someone who can do well against United. Now
Mm.
for United, my lineup,
Um,
who I think will start against United against you guys. I've put I put my goalkeeper Lemens, despite
hmm
him conceding 2 goals. I guess Hull City, there's nothing he could have done against those 2 goals. His defense
Agreed.
just let him down. Huh?
No, so I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, his defense just let him down. And those 2 goals that he conceded were set pieces.
Mm.
One corner kick that was from a Messi defending, and one free kick where the centre backs could not header it out. So nothing you can have done about that. Right back, there's no other right backs that we have that are good options. It's either we have Dalot or Mazari. And Mazari started the game against Hull City and he looked out of shape. So I put Dalot here. Dalot is a more balanced guy. If I don't worry with Dalot, he'll most likely give away a penalty or maybe a set piece. So that's my worry with a lot is his timing of his tackles. Yeah, and then my centre backs, I'll have Maguire and Lenny Yoro. Nothing
Mm.
against Eden Heaven, but I think Eden Heaven, when you have conceded 2 goals or you are involved in 2 goals being conceded, you should be dropped to the bench. And
Yeah.
when preseason, you struggle in preseason being partnering with Harry Maguire. So I think it's time for Lenioro to start and for you to be on the bench as to come off the bench.
Yeah.
And then his partner is Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire, that's give, hopefully doesn't score on goals, and he does needs to work on his headering to header the ball
Mm.
out. Yeah, and to man mark better. I think those centre backs, I just want them to man mark better. As long as they are doing the work well, man marking your forwards well, there should be no reasons why United should be conceding for set pieces like we did against Old City.
Mm.
And then Luke Shaw should not let his man pa- go past him. I know Luke Shaw, his running days are past, are long gone, and his legs are long gone. But there's no other left back that we have right now, unless we want to start Harry Hamas. But even starting Harry Hamas in this game will be a nightmare. So, look, sure, even though you're aging and your playing days are long gone, does play well. And then who else? my pivot, I'll have Menu and Santos. Tillsman, I'm glopping him because he struggled a bit against Hull City. He gave
Mm.
away a free kick that helped Hull City to score that second goal. Yeah, and that really sent United down in terms of motivation because heading to halftime we were 2-0 down, and I felt like second half our motivation was already low and we already gave up.
Mm.
So I think I'll have Menu starts there for in terms of physicality, aggression, and next to Santos.
Yep.
Yeah, and plus I didn't like how Carrick started two new signings in the midfield. It made us more vulnerable. If it was Carrick, I'll have started an existing midfielder plus a new signing in terms of
Mm.
to create balance as well.
Yep.
And yeah, if if you want to start two new signings, you start them in game week 10. You don't start it in game week 1.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even if Manu have
And
like one game, like you say, if you do one or the other, then you can take the other one on and give them like half and half sort of thing.
yeah, and it helps them to bond with each other more because
Mm.
suddenly putting them up in that pivot, and I know Tillsman and Santos barely had games together, maybe like 2 games together. Yeah, so in terms of match sharpness, they were not there yet, and
Mm.
they're still new to the club, so they needed to bond yet. So one of them needed to be put on the bench as the other one starts. So that's why I
Yep.
feel like for this game against Ipswich Town, one of them should be benched as the other one starts. Yeah, and
Agreed.
then for left winger, it could be a bit controversial, but I'm dropping Dogo. Patrick Dogo has been horrible uh, in preseason. He has also played bad in against Hull City, and I think he should be returning back to the bench.
Hmm.
And I'm putting look someone like Rashford there.
Yeah, I think that's what you should
Yeah,
do.
yeah, Rashford will. Even though we all want Rashford out of the club, but I think Rashford performed better than Patrick Dogo did against Hull City. He had a bright spark. He does that. He didn't have runners inside the box to help to 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 get to get the chances that he was trying to create for United. Plus, he came on too late when the motivation was already down, so the team was already gone. Bruno Fernandes starts as attacking midfielder. There's no other available attacking midfielder left in this club that is much fit. Yeah, and I just want Bruno Fernandes to bring back the Bruno Fernandes that won him the award this week. He should bring that version of him back. Precision, I wasn't too impressed by how he was performing off the bench. He looks as if he was too cocky. Even the way he missed the penalties, I was like frustrated with him. And he should be doing better as a club captain. His performances should be top notch. So Bruno
Mm.
Fernandes need to step up your performances. Right winger, Mbomo need to do better. He needs to stretch out the wings. You cannot be going for a wrestling competition with these fullbacks. He needs to stretch out the wings. Even do side steps like how Ahmad does. Yeah. And then our striker, there's only one striker l- fit enough to start. That's Cunha. I know Sesko can come off the bench, but yeah, so Cunha is on his fit striker to start. Even though Cunha was a bit quiet against Hull City. Yeah.
Mm.
Now, and players who I think could perform well against Ipswich Town, I've put Shelesi. I think Shelesi could come off the bench. It is a player that you guys are not used to. Obviously, since he's an academy star, he performed quite well against preseason. And if he does believes in himself, it is his time to shine, especially with Ahmad's injury. He should step up and does take the mantle. Yeah, that's what United, actually, for those who remember, United United is built not on these big signings but on character players coming out of character and showing these existing players that we are better than you and we can come into the squad.
Mm.
So it's time for Selesi to have that belief in himself and to show that he's ready for this fasting football. The same thing that Rashford did, the same thing that Greenwood did. So it's time for him to now do it himself. So Shalesi is another person, is someone to look out for. Rashford, Rashford, if he starts, is someone to look out for. Harry Maguire is someone to look out for if we are on corner kicks, especially like how Harry Maguire is a good header in the box as well. So if we can create some chaos there. The reason why I put a Bumo there is because he was our top scorer in preseason and Bruno Fernandes for the assists. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Hmm.
I agree.
Yeah. So what else? Is there any players that could make a debut against United from your side?
I think you just named him, and also I'd probably mention like people like Mainu as well. I think Mainu's has that shout out. Um, yeah, no, I think you. Apart from that, I think you just named everyone there. To be fair, like you say, Shea Lacey's one of those academy grads. You just don't know what you're going to get from him. Like he's that unpredictable sometimes. Like, and that's a good thing for United and their fans.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying from your team, is there anyone that could make a debut or could start as the first appearance
Oh,
for your
first
club?
of for what Ipswich?
Yeah, for his pitch, yeah.
Florentino could make one. Atara. I'm trying to think. Is there anyone else? I think that'll be it. I don't know about Palacios and Abraham. Abraham could make the bench, maybe, but I think Palacios. I think we'll probably get him like ready and match fit for maybe Liverpool at home next game.
Hmm. Yeah, Otara is a very good left winger.
Mm.
Actually, where he plays left wing or right wing, Otara.
Atara. Oh, you're on about the one from Brentford. No, we got this Atara from Strasbourg. He's like he can play midfield, like in the centre mid role, or he can play on the fullbacks and as a wing back as well.
Oh, the Otara from, the midfielder. I was thinking the one for Bradford.
Yeah, you're thinking the one from Brentford that used to play for Bournemouth.
Yeah, I was thinking about that one. I was like, if he managed to sign him, I was going to be
Yeah.
impressed that he managed to sign that Otara, especially with the way Brentford loves that kind of player.
No, it's not him. I'm afraid.
Yeah, but I saw with the way you guys did, you did quite well in your Carabao Cup game. The 3-1 smashing of Hull City. Wow, that was an incredible game to watch. It's
Yeah,
and it's
I mean, with Leicester, it was one of those. It was like we normally have a bad record against Leicester, so to get like that 3-1 sort of thing was nice. And I know people say, "Oh, yeah, but Leicester didn't have any like centre backs. They played fullbacks at centre back." But 9 times out of 10, previous Ipswich for years would struggle with those sort of like players in that sort of game and things like that. So it's nice to actually break that sort of thing. Like we actually can beat Leicester if we could.
yeah, and you guys finally broke that record, and it's actually what's frightening as well because you guys are coming to Old Trafford with a high confidence because already you have a good precision as one of the motivations. Number two, you have seen how badly the United have done, and number three, you have seen as well. You have had a bright spark to the season as well.
Mm.
So the only thing that will let you guys down is yourself.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, unless you sabotage yourself.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping United should go out there and beat you guys for our sake. we cannot go two games back to back losing to newly promoted sides. That would be more embarrassing for a big six club. If that's if we do that, then I'm sure for fans should be outraged, and fans should have been more outraged us losing to Hull City. I'm I'm actually um um I don't know why fans are okay with it us losing to Hull City when I was pissed off.
Mm.
Actually, I guess that game against Hull City, I switched I switched off the TV at halftime. I was like, I'm not watching this shit for the second half because these guys have already frustrated me to the level of I needed some mental peace. Yeah,
Mm.
so that that kind of thing. But United should beat Ipswich Town and should be able to beat Ipswich Town. Yeah. But anyways, any final thoughts before we wrap up?
Not really. I mean, are we doing our score predictions and things like that, or
Yeah, we can do our final score predictions.
okay? I'm gonna go 1-1.
Okay, I'm going to go 2-1 for United.
Ah, if he's gonna say for Ipswich, then Kyle.
You are funny. I know. And it can happen, but you're funny.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
If that does happen, Carl will message me on the group thing and be like, Joe, we're gonna have words.
Yeah, I know on our prediction league, he'll be very happy because he'll be earning a lot of points.
I predicted a 1-1 in the group chat, so if it does come 2-1, I'll be like, oh, gutted. But at the same time, I'll be like, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, I know in the group chat I predicted a win for us, even though I know, yeah, but hopefully may the best team win.
Yep.
And yeah, so apart from that, thank you, Joe, for joining the stream. Thank you for the viewers for watching the stream. For those who haven't subscribed to the channel and you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the like button as well, subscribe to the channel as well. We are trying to reach 2,500 subs. We For every game we try to invite local fans of our opponent fans to talk about their club like we have done with Ipswich Town. Some fan bases are hard to find, like City fans. They're really scarce. It's either it's either you find those big ones like or but even finding a local one like Joe is harder to find in City
Literally.
Spurs. Yeah, because even looking for those ones, because most YouTubers they mostly just post highlights and finding little fans that love their club like how Joe loves his club is species really rare nowadays. Yeah, so
Mm.
big up Joe, and I appreciate you take up your time. You can leave us. I wrap it up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you for having me on, Carl. It means a lot. And please like this video. Please subscribe to Carl. Absolute real one. Yeah, overall, everything good going for your way, sir.
yeah, big up Joe, and yeah, you can. Yeah, so I'll see you guys next time on the channel and on the next stream.